Well, hello there, and today we have the brand new season of the GeoFrauds. So it's season 7. I managed to stay in Div 1 last season, and we did qualify for the Focal Blitz. So that'll happen later on in the season. Yeah, some new faces, I think, with the Returnal Party. We've also got a few other people as well taking part. And yeah, we're going to jump straight into the first leg. Improved World NMPZ, and we have Wolf Trekker, which is quite funny because it is his map, but there is that many locations. It kind of rules it out because the chances are so slim to remember them. But yeah, let's just enjoy this. It is more fun. I'm treating this more fun this time and just treating it as like, you know what, if I don't know it, I don't know it. But I'm just going to go with what I think. And let's begin. Okay, straight off the bat, I believe this is somewhere in Asia with these palms. My main worry is Sri Lanka here. That pole could be a Sri Lanka pole. It's just a bit odd for Sri Lanka. That's my only worry. Where else could this be? This could be in Indonesia. I don't know if I have palms there though. This is a really tough start. And I'm scared of moving from Sri Lanka. This is not good. I'm gonna switch from Sri Lanka. I don't think it's right. But I have no idea where it will be then. Do I just stick with Sri Lanka? No, I'm gonna stick with Indonesia. Okay, it was actually Thailand. Okay, it makes sense. The palms. I thought it was a very orange soil, but Pasha and Seb managed to get it. It looks like so. Yeah, not the best of starts, but it looks like that was a tough round with everyone who's played so far. Okay, the second round looks like we're in the US. Quite flat, but plenty of trees. So I'm thinking somewhere like central, like an Indiana or something. Maybe in Illinois, somewhere like around that region. I don't think it's that far east. So maybe like yeah, near Indiana or something like that. It's a tough start, but yeah, I don't know what else we can use here. I'm not an expert with the US, so I think I'm just gonna send it. Maybe I'll go more into Ohio actually. I think Ohio might make more sense. And yeah, let's just see where this is. Oh gosh, it was actually south. And yeah, this is a tough seed so far. I'm not getting many good rounds, but this one should be a gimme. So we've got the Portuguese hunting sign and the Portuguese pole. So should be pretty straightforward. It feels quite flat, so I want to go more south. Maybe towards the west coast ish, or not. I don't know. I'm thinking more southern flats, maybe like around here. But there's hills everywhere, so I'm a bit confused where this could be. Could it just be here? Actually, because this bit's a bit flat, so maybe I just hedge here, like towards Bayar or something. I don't know if this is a main road, so I think I'm just gonna plonk here maybe. I'll plonk here. Let's just do that and see where this is. Okay, it's actually more towards Lisbon, but it's fine. It's pretty tough so far. But okay, I need to focus on this one. I can't tell if that's a US or Canada flag, which is really frustrating. I think this is US though. I don't think it's Canada, but I could be wrong. I could be so wrong. And I can't really see the plate properly, which is really frustrating. And I can't tell if that's a US or Canada flag. I think it's the US. I'll have to go east. I have to go east if it's US here. And maybe like Massachusetts or something like New York, Pennsylvania maybe. Is there any fronts that we can see? There's no fronts. Maybe it is Canada then. Maybe I'll go here. I'm a bit confused. Let's just see. Oh, I was. Does Pennsylvania have no fronts? Oh, I was right there, dude. Oh, this is rough. Oh, I'm not getting much luck today, but this is Canada. So we've got the single yellow line. I can't believe I switched from that. I think does Pennsylvania have fronts? Oh, that's so annoying. I was right there, dude. Well, where will this be? I'm thinking more west. Could it ever be more north Alberta, like around here? It doesn't feel that eastern, so I'm happy to go here. I think it could be so wrong, but I think I might as well go for it here. It's not been a good start. I'm kind of frustrated with the Pennsylvania round, but let's just see if I'm anywhere near this round. And it was Sask, okay, it was Northern Sask. That's kind of frustrating. So I was pretty confident it was more like to be Alberta, but it is what it is. But 17k, that is not great. And yeah, that is pretty poor week so far. Well, hello there, future me here, and now we're going to look at the results of the first week. And for Division 1, Phineas got the victory with 21.7k, so well done Phineas for winning week 1. Some very good guesses, nice SAS guess, and pretty solid US guesses as well, that probably made the difference, and also getting Thailand too. Then we had Armani in second, then Mackham, DJ, and Noah in the top 5, so well done for guessing the guys. I don't know if that sentence made any sense, but we carry on. But then we have Seb, Salvador, Seth, Rust, and Amon completing the top 10. And as you can tell, it was a bit of a chaotic nightmare with the US. Excuse me. And quite split between Sask and Alberta on most instances. So pretty similar guesses. And as you can tell, the score range isn't that much. We'll include everybody else to see what the overall distribution is. But yeah, I did come 17th, which is not the best start in the world, but I could have easily come last on another day. So I'm kind of grateful I didn't have any big errors besides the US round where I went Canada. But yeah, this is the distribution. Like there was a couple obscure guesses like BC, Oregon, and New Brunswick on US rounds. Then we had a mistake by Excusor from Colombia and Thailand, which is understandable. There is a very strange Colombia round that does look like that, so I could understand the logic there. And then kind of everyone was everywhere on the Thailand round. If you got Thailand, you were fine, but if you didn't get it, it was really just wrong country, but closer kind of guessing. But yeah, good to see everyone getting Portugal. And yeah, that is week 1 for Division 1. Let's move on to Division 2 standings. So they played Balance World on No Move. And well done R1 for getting the victory. Then we had Flamp, Joey, Desai, and Cookie in the top 5. I'll just quickly hide myself. Let's have a look at the distribution. So most people well, all of them got Norway, but nobody went North Norway. And R1, the other person, went North, and he actually won it. So I don't think it's just because of that round. He's just had a much better game. Like he got 22k, almost like that's 1.2k more than second. So that is pretty good from R1. And most people got the actual Greenland village because it was a vehicle or quad bike, sorry. But Desire also had the vibe, just not quite the right place. And then we had the Ontario round, and most people got Ontario because it was in Quebec, but luckily they're not too far away. And yeah, then the rest is kind of similar, besides some people going more towards Argentina or in Argentina. Like most people managed to get that vibe. So yeah, pretty straightforward guesses. And then let's include Jake, Dasumi, I need to remember your name, Ribierette, Clemu, and Simon Goose. And yeah, it's a bit more interesting this one because quite a lot of the guys loaded up the go kart or the quad bike vehicle. We had some going US and Mexico on Canada, which is a big damage. And then we had some people going Spain and Greece on well, in the Middle East. So that is, yeah. I mean, we did have some good guesses up North Norway, but I think the guesses in Mexico and US, or South US to be more precise, definitely dropped them a bit. And then we had one guess in the Caribbean on Uruguay. So yeah, we're going to include everyone now, and yeah, I'm only going to show the top 10, but um, well done to everyone else who played. We had 17 people play this week, which I believe is the right number. I don't think anybody missed out in Division 2. And yeah, we have a couple of guesses that are quite obscure. Like we had one in Australia on Uruguay. We had, I think, yep, another one in Reunion Island on Uruguay. And then we had quite a lot not going Middle East. Actually, that's quite, that's something to note down, I guess. And then, yeah, pretty much everyone got Greenland. And then most people managed to get Canada or at least get the US. But we did have some Argentina guesses in Uruguay as well from the other guys. But yeah, that is week 1 done. So well done, R1, for getting the victory and quite convincingly. Let's see what happens next week in Division 2. Okay, so let's move on to Division 3. This was Community World, and congrats to Aardvark for getting the victory on 21k. So he beat everybody else by almost a k and a half, which is quite convincing. And then we had Halls, Ryan, Nathan, K-pop, Joe, Anku, Cam, Gurit, Canther, and Hamfrags. Pretty sure that was everyone who played. There might be one person who forgot to play. But if we have a look at our distribution, for everyone got the US mostly, but we had some that were undecided whether it was West or East, and we had one guess in Canada. So really, you had to be on the east side of the US to get some points this week, it seems. Then we had Italy, and we had a lot of very close guesses. Quite a few people actually managed to almost 5k it, but we did have some in Central Italy as well, so everybody got Italy, which is good. If we zoom out, let's look at the South Africa or Botswana round actually. Yeah, some good guesses actually. I think Joe managed to get a 5k there. I don't know what round that was, or almost a 5k. Yeah, K-pop got a 5k on that round. So yeah, well done, you guys, for getting the pinpoint. But everybody else managed to get Botswana, which is great to see. And if we zoom out, let's look at the more interesting round, which I believe is the Malaysia round in Sabah. And Anku actually got Sabah, so well done, Anku. And unsurprisingly, he's from Malaysia, so that probably helped. But we did have some guesses on Borneo and offline Malaysia, so well done to everyone who got offline Malaysia, and a couple of guesses in Malaysia, but couldn't really separate it from mainland and offland. The odd Kalimantan guess and the odd Hong Kong guess, which are both understandable. And then we had the Japan round, where quite a few people managed to get south, or at least think it's not as north as Tokyo. Like everyone's gone Tokyo or more south, which is good to see. And yeah, so that's pretty much Division 3. Let's move on to Division 4. If I said Division 4 instead of Division 3 at the start, I apologise, but we move. So Division 4, Lodi managed to actually get the victory with 23.4k. So it was quite convincing. That's like 4k difference between first and second. So Lodi did very well this week. So fair play. Let's include everybody else. We have Elliot, Kaiser, Giraffic, Potato, Cat, and Arazard who played. This is where I think a lot of people had issues on some of the rounds. So I think that on Ireland we had some in New Zealand, I believe. So I can talk through that. Excuse me. We can talk about that soon. But we also had some Australia guesses in South America. So we had a Chile guess. No, it wasn't actually Chile. Yeah, we did have Chile guesses, but it was actually in Argentina. I think Lodi got really close there, so a very good guess by Lodi. But we had some South America guesses by Kat and Elliot, which is good to see. Yeah, there's definitely a lot in New Zealand and Ireland, that's for sure. It looks like Portugal was quite difficult, but we had some great guesses by both Arazard and Lodi. I think Arazard, did he 5k? I think Arazard might have 5k'd. Yes, he did. So well done for the 5k, Arazard. Good stuff. But other than that, most people managed to get it was Spain or Portugal with with the odd person down in Africa, which is understandable. And Yeah, then I think we had one in Mont, which actually nobody got. So nobody got Mont, and I wonder if that could have made a difference to Loddie's score. If Loddy got like 800 points or 400 points, he would have probably got 24k there. So it's definitely 24k potential for Division 4 this seed. Loddy could have even done better if he managed to get Mont. So GG's. And yeah, we're going to move, excuse me, we're going to move on to the review. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to look through every single division's rounds, and I will review Division 1 first, and then I'll review all the other divisions. Right here, so we're starting off with Division 1 NNPZ, and we had this round. So where I guessed, I believe I was thinking Sri Lanka, and then I switched to Indonesia based off panic and the risk of Sri Lanka being wrong. But that is actually a tie poll. I didn't realize that, but if we actually zoom in, you can start seeing the dots on the poll, especially towards the top. So I should have definitely gone Thailand there, but the pressure happened and it is what it is. I mean, you get a lot of like these plantations of these like oil palms, definitely go South Thailand in this scenario. So yeah, if I managed, I think even if I was going to think of Thailand, I would have definitely gone south here with these oil palms. So yeah, those are the main clues for this round. Okay, the second round, I do not know. So if Finis, you are watching this, feel free to explain what gave you more southern vibes. But I had no idea if this was central or even somewhat north US. I hedged Ohio because I was thinking it could be north, but more towards a flatter terrain. But this is actually quite south, and it'd be interesting to see if anybody knows any tips for that. Feel free to comment down below if you do. Okay, round number 3, pretty straightforward for Division 1 players. We've got the Portuguese hunting style, which is like this red diamond with a white circle in the middle of it. We also have evidence of these Brazilian poles, but you can also get them in Portugal, so that these segment bars going across. And then, yeah, it was quite flat, didn't really see any hills, so you're thinking more southern or central Portugal towards like Lisboa, or maybe much further down to Faro. Round 4, this is my panic and stress round. We do have a US flag there. I did think it was US at first, but then I kind of forgot that it existed and went Canada because I saw no fronts here. But what I didn't manage to spot whilst I was recording, I couldn't really see this yellow. If I knew that I had a yellow strip on that plate, I knew that plate was Pennsylvania. And if I remembered that Pennsylvania also don't have fronts, because I also thought Northeast for some reason of US all have fronts required, but Pennsylvania is like the only exception. So quite unfortunate, and I did move away from Pennsylvania as well. So it is what it is. It happens, but I mean Quebec, it makes sense with no fronts, but with the US flag and Pennsylvania plate, and quite a lot of people spotted the plate. I don't know how I didn't spot it, or I didn't spot the yellow at least. But yeah, that was a very costly round. And the final round was actually quite tough. I actually had no idea whether this was Sask or not. I was thinking like Alberta. It felt like northern Alberta, a lot of trees. I thought this was quite tall grass as well, especially like around here and here. But I'm actually quite surprised it's Sask. But I haven't covered any roads in Sask. But then again, it does feel a bit weird for Alberta. I don't know. It's not really a main highway. Honestly, I will be waffling, but if Fungus is watching or any Canadian experts, feel free to explain how you can excuse me, how you can differentiate like Sask from um, Alberta here. I mean, if we look around, if we want to move, we've got this white triangle, and that would, if we saw that, that would have 100% confirmed Sask, because Alberta does not have those, and Mani has different ones. But yeah, other than that, we couldn't really do much here, sadly. And that is Division 1 sorted. Let's move on to Division 2. Right here, so for round 1, we had Ontario. So there's quite a lot of clues here. So I noticed a few people didn't go Canada or didn't go Ontario. And you can definitely make sure you get this right next time. So first of all, we've got these very orange and black cones. I call them the tiger poles of Ontario. Poles, the tiger cones of Ontario. because they're very orange with black stripes. You mostly get these Ontario. They're much rarer in other provinces. Other provinces will have a paler orange, or it wouldn't seem as striking or tiger color. We also have front plates, which also you don't really get front plates in Quebec that often. So that was another clue. Our third clue was the kilometer sign, because we have the green and then we also have a white bit at the bottom. And Ontario is the only province that will have white at the bottom of the kilometer mark. And it usually says point something, but it's too far away, but you can definitely see the white. We also have a yellow diamond sign on the road, and that is also unique to Ontario. So there's quite a lot of Ontario clues here. And if you turn around, I don't know, a very flat area. I would have definitely gone more south Ontario, maybe a bit more east. But yeah, there are a lot of province-specific clues in this round, and hopefully some of you guys find that useful, and Ontario becomes a lot easier for you for these main road rounds. Okay, so let's move on to the second round. So here we have the URL for Norway. We have some information. Maybe that could be a place. I do not know, Jeff. If we go to the map, let's see where this actually was. It was in a place called Hartstad. So maybe not necessarily a place. We could check if it was visible, but I don't see Hartstad on here, so I presume not. I don't know, main clues, I mean, you got Norway, but the other clue really, I don't know. It felt more northern to me because the trees didn't seem as tall, but it is quite hard to tell, so I can understand a lot of people going south here. Very tough round. It's more of a vibe guess, and I think even the top players will be unsure whether to go north here or not. So either way, good effort for anyone who got North Norway there. This round is all about learning your Greenland quad bikes, and when you have this green quad bike with this kind of orange circular thing on the left, and generally get the person's hat, you should be in Arsuk. And if you don't know where Arsuk is, it's not there, Jeff. If we zoom out and go here, it's much further south. I would say it's it is for it's pretty much 3 main cities down, and it should be there. So quite a very specific location, but my advice is checking out my video and Cookie's videos to learn your quad bikes better, if you didn't remember. But yeah, that is the clue for the village, and well done to anyone who managed to 5k as well. Okay, the fourth round, we have French, which was quite confusing. But if we exclude the French, we have quite a South American-like environment. It's hard to explain, especially these wooden poles, wooden architecture. We've also got an evidence of a long plate, and we've got the coast. So it's not really much to go off here. We don't have any Argentina plates, and a long plate makes more sense for Uruguay. But to me, when I see that this type of orangish soil near the coast and it's flat, I tend to go Uruguay more often than Argentina. You could probably use your compass actually, eastern coast, to narrow it down where you are in Uruguay. This is quite a fairly decent sized village, so well done to anyone who managed to get a good guess. But not really much to say on that round. And the final round, I don't think not many people managed to get this, but there is one big clue here. We've got the long antenna with the black car. And when you're in the Middle East, that is a good confirmation you are in Israel. A lot of people went Spain, I believe. But the main thing that gives it away from Spain is the yellow road outlines. That is much rarer for Spain than Israel. And in Israel, generally, when you get a very green environment, you tend to be north. But I think in this instance, it was actually quite central, but we'll double check. No, it was north. So it was north. So yeah, generally when I get very green environments and it's hilly in Israel, I tend to go more north. So just keep that in mind. It might be better for your hedging in the future. But that's Division 2 done. Let's move on to Division 3. Rightio, so now we are moving on to Division 3. So let's have a look at what we've got here. First of all, we have double yellows, so very likely to be in the Americas. We have a very weird pole. I usually see this in northeast Quebec, actually, which is quite interesting. But I'm trying to work out if there's any clues for US over Canada here. Well, there's a big enough of US flags, so that kind of helps. But this was quite interesting because it's quite, I wouldn't say it's extremely mountainous. Well, it is extremely mountainous. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I wouldn't say it's like tall trees or anything like on the west coast. So yeah, the trees tend to be a lot more shorter here and very different species on the east coast or the east side of the US. And in this instance, we've got quite big hills, and we're in the northeast, and you get kind of this landscape. You can only be in a handful of places, and Vermont's a very common example where it gets very hilly. And another example is New Hampshire. But you kind of have that cluster with Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Those are the best ones to go with when you get these like types of hills. There might be other clues here that I may not be seeing that confirm Vermont even more. And feel free to let me know if you do know that. But other than that, um, got the US flag and hills in the northeast, so you can kind of narrow it down, but not too much. Okay, second round. So we managed to get some very good guesses in 5Ks, and it was mostly to do with the guys being able to read kanji, which I can't. But if you can't read kanji, there are some clues here. So first of all, we've got Kyushu or Kyushu, guy wire, and my advice is to learn your guy wires. There is a Design's made a guide for Japan stuff, so definitely check it out. And guy wires is very good if you want to get better at region guessing. Maybe not prefecture specific, but region guessing, it can be very useful. We also have the Kyushu, I believe, feel free to correct me, wrong design, but I think this one is the Kyushu, um, what's it called, plate. But I'm not sure if that one is. It's one of these two. I haven't learnt my plates yet. I'm probably going to learn them sometime tomorrow, actually, funnily enough. Fingers crossed. But yeah, um, definitely Kyushu guy wire. Excuse me. We've got a lot of palms, so it probably hints you on the coast and probably more southern, most likely. But be aware you do get a lot of palms near Shikoku, I believe. So don't get baited. But I think the combination of the Kyushu guy wire, the palms, um, probably a good hedge to go somewhere in Kagoshima or just Kyushu itself. Okay, so this round it ended up being Malaysia, but we were in Sabah, weren't it? I think it was Sabah. Yeah, so we were in Sabah. So what could we use here? What could we use here to confirm Malaysia over Indonesia? I mean, generally when I see like Asian, not Asian text, but like Chinese or or Mandarin, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. It's far more likely to be Malaysia than Indonesia, so that's the first thing. Any other clues here? Well, we don't see any black stickers on the poles, so that does not necessarily mean we're off, not in mainland, but it's a very good hint that we could be offland, and generally it works. And in some cases, you get like white stickers as well. So just keep that in mind for offland Malaysia, because offland Malaysia can have white stickers. But yeah, other than that, I think it's just a vibe, a lot of palms, hints of a hill kind of feel, but not that hilly. So that explains why not many people went suburb. But you do have some big hills peeking towards the east, which probably could have helped Anku with his region guessing. But feel free to comment down below, Anku, if there's anything to do with this which helped you um, get a good guess here. Okay, let's move on to the fourth round. I think this was pinpointable. Yep, we've got the A1, Palape, we have Sherwood, we have Martin's Drift. So definitely pinpointable. And if we go on the map, we zoom into Botswana. So we can look back at what the sign said. So we had Palape and Sherwood. So it felt more northern. And Palape is right on the junction here. And I'm trying to work out where Sherwood is, but we can use the road angle anyway. And yeah, you can definitely get a 5k there. But if you're curious of how this is Botswana, Botswana uses green signs with yellow text. You can get that in South Africa as well. But I don't know, this feels a lot more dry and hint of sand. And I don't know, it feels a lot more flatter and bright compared to South Africa. We also have the black and yellow signpost there, which is, oh, actually, it's here as well. Yeah, this black and yellow pattern on signpost is distinctive to Botswana. You don't get that in South Africa. And I don't believe you get that anywhere else in the world, actually, as far as I am aware, on official Street View. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for that round. And we can move on to round 5. And this was Italy, I believe. I think this could be narrowed down, but we've got language, we've got Italian, we've got the double blue at the back, we've got the double blue at the front with sharp plates, we've got the black back signs, which is very common for Italy as well. We've also got some places there, Modena and stuff. I wonder if that could actually help you pinpoint where you are in Italy. I've heard of Modena before, which is here. So definitely could pinpoint it, or at least get a very good region guess. But of course, vehicles travel, so I don't always trust it. We've also got Bretagna there, which I don't know if it's visible on the map. Maybe it's not a place. Who knows, Jeff? But what's it called? Modena was definitely a place, and you could have got a really good score there. And well done to anyone who noticed that and found it. But yeah, that is Division 3 sorted, and we can move on to Division 4. Rightio, so now we're on Division 4, and the first round we're in is in Flanders in Belgium. It's hard to explain this one. I see a lot of thick red signposts in Belgium, and this type of like font is unique to Belgium. But yeah, generally I'm split between France and Belgium, and I see a blue sign with this very striking font. But even a blue sign on like triangle signs, I would always go Belgium here. We also have brick buildings, which is very common for Belgium, but we do have some unusual houses that feel more towards like France or maybe even Luxembourg. But yeah, this was Flanders, and if we zoom on the map, it was actually quite northern. So I probably would have gone maybe more north, maybe more south. But then again, it wasn't actually that hilly. So yeah, interesting round, but it was a pretty straightforward Netherlands if you knew the sign meta and familiar with the um, architecture and bricks. Okay, so we've got some clues here for Portugal. Obviously, to know that's Portuguese. We've also got like a number, but these are the main sign like Serb Metula. Also, it's not fully reliable, but generally when you get a bigger stop sign or bigger text stop, you should head Portugal more often than Spain. We've also got a different type of Portuguese hunting sign, but this time it's more of like the Austria flag. This is also another hunting sign, and that's Portugal specific. We've also got another example here, and yeah, so you just need to find those places, which I'm pretty sure people did. So Serpa's there, and if we go to the sign again, we have Murtola as well, which is here. So we knew it was between there, and it was definitely pinpointable. So well done to anyone who got a decent guess there. Round 3, I think this is where people got very confused, and I would say this is quite a sneaky tip. So this round, I mean, I would hedge Argentina instinctively, but I can see why people would go Peru or stuff like that, especially with like more of assault planes going on, or even Bolivia. But these like bollards, I won't call them bollards, but like these like off-road bollards, and you have like a blue like reflector. I've only seen these in Argentina, and I've only tend to see it in like I don't know. It's hard to say. Like from like the western mountain range, you kind of I can kind of find them quite more south as well. But with the hint of a salt plain and those bollards, I would definitely go Argentina. And as you can tell, salt pans are mostly far north. So if you've got that salt pan feel, and the reason why I think it feels like salt pan is most because it's quite grainy. It feels quite washed up, very flat. but hilly surroundings, definitely go out far north Argentina. It will be beneficial, and go west, of course, where the mountains are. But I understand how difficult that could be. Okay, so let's move on to the next round. So this one was actually quite tricky. I might actually get this wrong. I was thinking instinctively Romania, but it was actually Mont. So this was actually a really tough round. But do we have riffs? Yep, actually, it's not NMPZ, thankfully. I would have messed up there, but the big riffs, Monte or Albania, and I guess it's a pick from the two. And if I was to pick one from the two, I would say more Mont. That sign isn't black-backed. Albania has a lot of similar traits to Italy, such as the black-back sign, so I would definitely hedge Mont just based off that. But yeah, it can be quite hard this round, and yeah, so main clue there was the riffs. Always look up when you're on no move if you don't know, if you're not sure and it's a Balkan feel. The final round. Okay, so this is where a lot of people went wrong. So let me explain how this is Ireland over New Zealand first. So the first thing I would say is I know that New Zealand has hints of yellow lines, but when you get short dashed yellow outlines and it goes all the way along the main roads, go New Zealand. No, don't go New Zealand, sorry. Go Ireland. And I don't know, picture if you excluded these yellow lines, where would you go? Would you go UK or would you go New Zealand? And I think some of you guys probably would think you would go UK. It's just very strange and green. But all I can say for New Zealand is, I don't know, when it's this green, it tends to be even more open or far more mountainous. But these like yellow signs, like these yellow signs inside road, you don't really see these type of signs in New Zealand. We also have like a cycle lane. I don't really see that often in New Zealand, but we've also got like, a lot of farmland buildings. We've also got I've not actually be a yellow plate, funny enough, but yeah, it's hard to explain. But yeah, also check the sun. The sun is in the south northern hemisphere, but yeah, just because you see yellow lines, don't get baited into New Zealand, because this is found in Ireland as well, and you very commonly get it on the road outlines, especially in dashes all across the road. New Zealand tend to get it with the yellow in the middle. But yeah, hope that was useful. Obviously, if you went not in Europe, but not the British Isles, then of course yellow dashes for Ireland and all the other side, over all the other countries beside UK, Ireland, Malta. I don't know if in the British Isles, drive on the left. So pretty easy to narrow down once you know it's Europe. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope this video's been useful to some of you guys, and also hope you've enjoyed the content and the gameplay. I did have a rough one this week, but I'm going to try my best to do better than the next one. Fingers crossed. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, of course.